Hello, my awesome literacy students. This is Screencastify number 2 for today because there's already a Screencastify up for Chapter 7 of Hatchet. So you're going to watch the Screencastify for that, for the Chapter 7, and then watch this one, which helps you answer the questions that you have to answer today. So you will get this same document on a PDF for you to answer your questions, along with a Google Doc for you to type your answers. But what I want to do today is try to go through how to answer questions using complete sentences, because that's a problem that it seems that we're having. Some folks are answering just with little short answers instead of using complete sentences. So I'm only going to do 3 of these questions today for you. Question 1, 2, and then question 5 on the second page. If you haven't read the chapter already, this will be kind of a spoiler for you. If you did read the chapter, it'll be review. The page numbers listed here are for the book. So for those of you that brought your book home, great, nice and easy for you. For those that didn't, though, remember every day I post the whole book with the chapter that we're on highlighted. So today you saw the post that has the whole book, but chapter 7 is highlighted for you. So I'll be referring to that for this screencast. So let me get going here because YouTube has that restriction where I can't be over 10 minutes on a video. So question 1, what were the effects of Brian eating too many berries, which is on page 67 in the book? Effects meaning more than one. So in other words, what are the things that happened to Brian because he ate too many berries? But what I want to do is, before I even answer the question, I want to use words from the question and restate. So I'm going to highlight some of the words that I'm going to use. So I'm going to use the effects of Brian eating too many berries. That's the beginning of my answer. So if I'm going to put my answer in, dun, 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 I'm going to start to type that in right from the question. The effects of Brian eating too many berries, right? And then I'm going to find out what those effects were. So if I was in the book, I'd look on page 67. But if I didn't have my book, I would just look on here, page 26, which is chapter 7. And I would look for the effects. And it says on that page, Brian, it says he crawled out the doorway and was sick in the sand. Then crawled still farther and was sick again, vomiting and with terrible diarrhea. So Brian had vomiting and terrible diarrhea. Don't laugh at diarrhea. It's not funny. So vomiting and terrible diarrhea. So to finish my answer, so the effects of Brian eating too many berries were vomiting and terrible diarrhea. And that would be the answer to question 1. Pretty easy, right? Again, taking words from the question. Dun, dun, dun. If I was going to look at that. Okay, same thing highlighted. So words from the question are in my answer, and then the evidence from the chapter that answers it. Okay, hopefully that's good. Question 2, what adjective is used to describe the whine of the mosquitoes? So again, I'm going to take words from the question, and I'm going to say the adjective used to describe the whine of the mosquitoes. The adjective used to describe the whine of the mosquitoes. All right, great. The adjective used to describe the whine of the mosquitoes. And then I'm going to try to find that evidence. So if I was in my book, it would be on page 69. But if I didn't have my book, I would just keep looking. And I want to go here to page 27, where it says the part that starts awake. Awake for a second, perhaps 2. He did not know where he was still in his sleep somewhere. Then he saw the sun streaming in the open doorway of the shelter, and heard the close, vicious whine of the mosquitoes. So the whine of the mosquitoes, that was described as being vicious. So that's the type of whine they're talking about. They're W-H-I-N-E, like when somebody whines, I don't want to do this, and they're whining. So the whine of the mosquitoes is described as vicious. So in my answer, I would type that. The adjective used to describe the whine of the mosquitoes is vicious, period. And again, these same words from the question are in my answer. Whoops, what am I doing? Look at how crazy I went there. Let me erase that and do a little bit of a better job. That's better. The adjective used to describe the whine of the mosquitoes. Then my answer, my evidence is vicious, which I saw on, again, on page 27. So I have to go back and forth between the book and my questions. All right, so I'm kind of running out of time here because, you know, YouTube's goofy. So on the second page of the assignment, how is the bear described on page 74? So I give you the page number there, but again, you might not have the book. You might be using this document that I have down here. But I want to use words from the question again. So the bear is described. So is I'm going to use just not in that order. So I'm going to say the bear is described. All right. 22 font. The bear is described, and then I want to see how is the bear described. So I think if I go down to page 29, it's there. It says where he saw a bear. Okay. He could do nothing, think nothing. His tongue stained with berry juice stuck to the roof of his mouth, and he stared at the bear. It was black with a cinnamon-colored nose. So it was black with a cinnamon-colored nose. So I'm going to put that in my answer. The bear is described as black with a cinnamon-colored nose. And again, words for the question. Bear is described as, or I don't even have as. So bear is described. Okay, I go, well, yeah, I had the, so sorry. The bear is described as black with a cinnamon nose. So that should take you through your answers to chapter 7, or at least help you to get your answers for chapter 7. You've seen how to answer questions 1 and 2. So you have to answer 3, 4. We answered 5 together. You'll have to do 6 and 7. So use this document again if you don't have your book. If you do have your book, the page numbers are a little easier to follow. I hope this was helpful. If not, let me know. But I don't know. I think that was pretty helpful. Yeah. Okay. So let me know. I will talk to you soon.